Okay, I don't usually do lives, and I haven't created a video where I'm speaking in a long time. But this morning I have a lot on my mind and in my heart. So here we go. I've been thinking a lot about conditions and transactions. So some of you may receive my newsletter where I recently sent a note about how I'm just over transactions. I'm just finished with conditions. And I have chosen to offer my one-on-one consultations and my one-to-one immersions, 4 weeks and longer, without placing a condition on them, without placing a transaction on them. They're just available. Because I've decided that I'm not interested in living in a world where the space between us, hi Carrie, where the space between us has a condition, where a condition or a transaction is placed there. So that's how I am offering my sessions and consultations now. And I've also been thinking about how the transactions, the conditions that we place between us in those ways when it comes to business or those type of exchanges is also present in our personal relationships. We have those same conditions and transactions there. If you do this, then I will. If you do this, then I will give. We have these if-thens and we have these conditions and these transactions. And as many of you know from my podcasts, my classes, what I write, I am in love with the Tulip Poplar tree. I'm in love with this tree. It's the tree of my heart. Even though I love rose and oak and plantain and chamomile and violet and can share their medicine, it's the Tulip Poplar that I feel I am here to most embody. And someone asked me just a few days ago, what do you love about the tulip poplar tree? What do you like about it? Why are you so drawn to it? And the question actually caught me off guard in spite of the fact that I have talked about this tree and written about it and sung about it for years now. And it caught me off guard because I usually express what I know about the tulip poplar, what I love and enjoy about it in a class setting or in a one-to-one session or consultation. So I'm in this space where I feel held, and I've created a space where I feel safe to open my heart and to start, pouring out my heart. So in this particular case, I wasn't prepared for that. I wasn't in class. I wasn't in a session. I was in downtown Asheville at a concert in a public place. And I just wasn't expecting that question. And so I really did a very poor job of answering it. And the person noticed and started to try to comfort me and help me, support me in my answer. And in thinking back about that conversation, what I have come to realize primarily, and especially in this moment, is that of all the things I could say about Tulip Poplar and what I love about it, about the dimensions and the portals and the rainbow dragons and the golden hearts and the keys and the foxes and the bears and all this, what I love most about the Tulip Poplar tree is that with this tree, as crazy as this is going to sound, I experience unconditional love. There are no conditions. Pass, fail, right, wrong, good, bad, all these words that we give with our polarities and dualities and our opposites and this way of being we have, I experience unconditional love. What does that mean when I'm talking about a tree? I'm not sure. It's just an essence that I tap into. when I am with that tree, when I channel it, when I embody it, it is an energy and a frequency and a vibration that I feel just in my body, my soul, my heart, and I open up to it and it feels good. It feels good to experience unconditional love and to know that there's this space, this container, this energy or vibration that I can step into, that no matter what is happening, whether like today, whether I fixed my hair or I didn't, whether I fixed my face or I didn't, whether I was crying because I was sad or whether I was laughing because I was happy, whether I had done something that I felt good about or whether I had done something that left me feeling disappointed in myself, whether I had succeeded or failed in all the ways that we humans create those categories, I was accepted. And not just simply accepted like, well, I guess you can be here. But I am loved. Like there is never any diminishing. There's never a wall or a space between Tulip, Poplar, and I. And some of you may also know from listening to me with past Tulip, Poplar lessons that the first phrase I ever heard from the Tulip Poplar tree was impenetrable fortress, right? And at the time, I thought that phrase was describing the tree, but it wasn't. Here I am a decade later, and I realized that phrase was the tree mirroring back to me myself. I, at that time, was an impenetrable fortress. And I'm getting this feeling that it's wanting me to say that I was beautiful. I was golden on the inside. It wasn't like a dark, mean, awful, I was just impenetrable. And like behind it, it's almost like this image of Sleeping Beauty where you have this, these enormous briars and hedges and thorns all around this castle, right? And it looks kind of scary. But on the inside, it's like this beautiful, twinkling, sparkling, sleeping, princess being. But I was that, right? So I didn't know at the time that part of why this tree, this frequency, this energy, vibration, this being, this essence had entered into my world all of those years ago, over a decade ago, was to teach me about unconditional love. What is love? Love is unconditional. That's what it is. What does it feel like to be loved in that way? What does it feel like to love in that way? What does that even feel like? And then it was here to show me ways that I was closed off from giving and receiving unconditional love, and to show me relationships and situations and institutions and patterns and systems and ways of thinking, all of this, that is not unconditional. It's not unconditional love. So our relationship with the divine, with source, with the universe, with God, whatever words that you want to use. For me, it used to be I liked the word God. That was the word that I knew. Now I like to just simply say the divine, and it's something that I feel right here. It is me. Those of you who've listened to things know that that's where I'm at. It is me. I am. So I like to feel that here. So even with myself, there are no conditions. So this morning, I am going to sing a song. And this song actually has to do with the connection between these conditions and being accepted and being loved. So the lyrics are about it. But even singing it is about it. Because lately, I've just been in, seeing all of these ways that we have these conditions, right, in our world, and even for me with, music and song. So I've experienced it in the church, I've experienced it in family, I've experienced it in romantic relationships, in money systems, in business, in, teacher-student relationships. I mean, you just name it, the list goes on and on where we have it. But now I find that I'm also experiencing it even in creative offerings and endeavors, right? So it's like, if you sing like this, if you make art like this, if you do it like this, then I will receive it. Then I will enjoy it. Then I will. Then I will. Then I will. Oh, that's kind of stuff. No. And then we put those same things on ourselves. If it's like this, then I will. If it is. So part of what that's been reaching out for me towards with this unconditional love is this connection to perfectionism and being perfect. So when I was little, when I was in elementary school and like early junior high, I would get this rash like all over my legs and like my arms and my elbows and, you know, my wrists. And they took me to the doctor and they were like, is she allergic to something? Is it a this? Is it that? And, you know, all the tests kept coming up negative. It didn't show that I was allergic to, you know, any external thing or blah, 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 blah. So they're like, you know, who knows? And you know how it is. They handed me a steroid cream and patted my mom and I on the back and, you know, sent us off. And, you know, it eventually just cleared up on its own. But in recent years, as I've been remembering the trauma and abuse that I experienced when I was small, as I've been moving through the church, as I've been moving through my former partnership and just stepping into a different way of being in the world, sometimes it has come back. Like all these years later, like what is that? Like 20, 30 years later, it's come back just a little bit. But recently, oh my goodness, it's like, it's killing me. Like it's driving me up a wall and it's like, and it just itches and it's like, and it's just driving me crazy. And the other day I sat on the edge of my bed and I said to my body, I don't know what you need. I don't know what to do for you. What do you need? What can I do for you, right? And I immediately had a flower essence come into my mind. And it was crabapple, the crabapple flower essence. And I recently moved. All my stuff, not all my stuff, but like my herbal things are still pretty much packed away. I'm not really sure how I want to do that anymore in the world, you know, all the herbs and tinctures and essences. So I sat on the edge of my bed and I thought, I don't even know where that essence is. And I turned and I just looked around my room and there's like boxes still packed. And I saw one box and I thought, maybe I'll just glance in there. I walk over to the box, I open it. It has dozens and dozens of individually wrapped little essence and tincture bottles in it. And I looked in it, I saw the top of one of these, like the little dropper top, and I thought, what's this one? I pick it up, it's crabapple. Like of all these boxes, all these scores and scores of bottles, first one I choose, it's crabapple. So I took it. And the last few days have been so amazing because the rash, it's almost gone. The itching, it's gone. It's been there for like over a month and really not very pretty and very unpleasant. And it's almost completely gone with just like 2 or 3 days with the crabapple. It started to improve immediately. But as you know, for those of you who use flower essences, all of these realizations started to come. And here were some of the realizations. As soon as I took the crabapple, this is awful, are you ready? I just started to feel like this wormy apple. And like, there was like stuff trying to get out from the inside, like this wormy apple. And I was like, and it felt so bad, like I didn't even want to keep taking the essence. And I was like, oh my goodness, what's wrong with me? You know, but I kept working with the essence. I took a shower, and then I come out of the shower, and then I see suddenly this like red, delicious, juicy apple. And it's like crisp and, you know, clean and white and juicy on the inside. And I hear, Amanda, you are a red, delicious, juicy apple, right? And it was like starting to transition. And I began to realize, like, even with all this work, I don't really like using that word, over the last several years, all of these layers, being moved through, all of these patterns and beliefs and this and that and changes, there was still, as I'm sure you're not surprised, underneath this, like, you're doing it wrong. Something's wrong with you. You're not perfect, right? Which goes all the way back to when I was small and things that were happening, and the Bible uses the word unclean. It was unclean. It is unclean, unclean. So leprosy, incest, all sorts of things, it's this uncleanness. And then I was like raised in the church. And so I was always like, you have to be a good girl, right? So you want to do the right thing and be a good girl and get good grades and good, right. Basically, perfect. And I wasn't perfect, but I did a really good job of trying and got a huge A for effort. So there was, principal's honor roll and this little award called the Eaglet Award that was like a little baby eagle that was just about like your character traits and qualities and, homecoming queen and, pastor's wife and blah, 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 so this good, right? Well, some of you who know my personal story know that that good all sort of like went out the window a few years back, the basic standard. And I have not been viewed that way, for several years now. And it's been okay because it's been part of the lesson where Tulip Poplar has been showing me unconditional love, love yourself. There's nothing to forgive. Nothing wrong has happened. Oh, my battery's going to die soon, so I have to be fast. So, this idea of perfectionism and just not being like presentable or ready or acceptable or likable or lovable or thisable or thatable, until it's perfect, right? So my life right now, it is not perfect. It is good. It is good. And I had a friend recently remind me, do you realize like, how good it is, like after what all has happened, like look at how things are, like it's kind of amazing. So it's very good, but it's not perfect. And they made this point, which I was like, this is incredible. Like they're like, you keep raising the bar on yourself. You keep raising the bar on yourself. Raise the bar on yourself, which is actually in some ways a good thing. But it's been part of this exercise in like, raise the bar, now drop it. Raise the bar, now drop it. Raise the bar, don't reach it and still love yourself. Raise the bar, don't reach it and still think you're great. Right? You see what I'm saying? It's like this practice energetically, emotionally, spiritually for myself. And like, honest to God, it's almost like, Amanda, how many ways and times can you fail and still make the choice to get up and say, and I do actually say this in the morning so many times when I wake up, it's like the first thing out of my mouth, I love you, Amanda. I love you. I love you so much. I love you, Amanda. Like how, and it's not a joke. Like, it's just like how I feel in the morning. I feel like I need to like, give myself a hug and like rub my legs and like put my hand over my heart and tell myself that I love you. So it's like this personal practice. And how much can you like screw up and fail and ruin and, all these human words that we have, right? So this has been some of what's going on. So this morning, I decided I'm going to sing this song that I wrote about this one night while I was thinking about it. Hopefully I can remember all the words. We'll see. So this is like Tulip Poplar coming through. What if I'm not enough? What if I can't fill your cup? What if I come up short in the end? Will you still love me then? My voice shakes, my hand... I already messed up. That's so cute. I love myself. Ready? Here we go. My voice cracks, my hands shake. Oh, I love it. This is so great. My voice cracks, my hands shake. I turn back and I can't make ends meet or wheels turn, and my last bridge has burned. What if I'm not enough? What if I can't fill your cup? What if I come up short in the end? Will you still love me then? My heart melts, my soul quakes. I'm hiding out in a dark place, far from the world stage, the very place I belong. What if I'm not enough? What if I can't fill your cup? What if I come up short in the end? Will you still love me then? What if I'm not enough? What if I can't fill your cup? What if I come up short in the end? Will you still love me then? What if I come up short in the end? Will you still love me then? That was so good. It's like such Tulip, Poplar, crabapple medicine. To forget the words, because you guys know, like, if you've been in classes with me, like, I can just pull it out. But I just love it. So that's the song that I wrote recently, and it's literally like, what if I just completely just don't even, come close? What if, like, I take a test and, like, this actually happened to me once when I was small learning to count by twos, and I get a 0. That, like, really happened. I went to a new school and I was supposed to circle all of the even numbers, but I didn't know what an even number was because I hadn't learned that yet. And so how do you actually only circle only the odd numbers? Like, totally. So I got a 0 on that. So it's like, so if I get like a complete 0, like, come up short on this, or maybe just barely, right? Or maybe it's like you want to get an A. What is that now? Like a 90 and get an 89, whatever. Is there still love, or is there a condition? Well, I really needed you to do one more thing. I really needed you to have one more point. I really needed you to do it more this way. Right? I just don't want to be that way anymore. I'm just sort of over it. I'm just sort of done with it. So that's why my sessions are being offered the way they're offered now. My consultations are being offered the way that they're being offered now. Lyriodendrous on Substack is being offered, to the public the way it is now. Yeah, we'll see what else comes out of that, because there's like a lot shifting when it comes to teaching, creating, singing, writing, and just how I want to show up and be in the world. Okay, so thanks for spending some time with me. I'm going to download this now and put it up later to share in a wider way. But I'd really love to hear from you. If this resonates, you can send me a note, because I'd really like to connect with other people that are like, yeah, I'm just kind of over it too. Yeah, and I offer Tulip, Poplar, and crabapple for unconditional love and feeling like there's something wrong with you and needing to be perfect, and continuing to like do that work with self-love. Okay, bye-bye.